Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Koehler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Koehler.
Well, hi team. I'm Fitz Koehler, your very bossy fitness pro and race announcer from fitzness.com, and welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today, I'm going to A, your cues. That's right. You have questions. I have answers, because I'm the fitness pro and all. But thank you for submitting your questions. They're really good ones today, and I can't wait to get into them. I also have a little bit gossip to share, Fitz Koehler gossip. And yeah, before we get into that, if you haven't done so yet, click like, subscribe wherever you're listening. And you can also click download episodes if you want to listen to the Fitzness Show when you don't have Wi-Fi, because sometimes you're on a plane and you're bored and you think, gosh, if only Fitz were here with me. Well, if you click download, you'll have those episodes stored in your little streaming service. And then boom, I can be with you at 30,000 feet. As well, if you click subscribe, then whenever I come on to make happy noise and you get notified and I can boss you around. Hi, because it doesn't work if you're not listening. Also, if you haven't done so yet, you supercharge the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity on sale everywhere, but most importantly at fitzness.com. If you order straight from me, I sign every book. I include your little Fitzy stickers, and man, the reviews are in. People are already reaching out saying, I've lost 5 pounds. I've lost 10 pounds. My back doesn't hurt. I mean, golly, I feel very proud of this one. If you don't have it, shame on you. Get it. Okay. And then this is Gasparilla Week. I am in prep mode. Do you know what prep mode is for Gasparilla Week? Besides, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you see I got Pepper Jack here. Pepper Jack, the Publix Gasparilla Distance Classic Parrot, always on my shoulder while I announce those races, like so. But yeah, I'm getting my pirate attire together. I hate to call them costumes, but you call them what you want. They're pirate attire. I got some new skirts and some fun shirts, and I do enjoy my pirate apparel. It's kind of hard to wear that other places throughout the year. Although I probably should. Like, why not? Why not just show up full-blown Jack Sparrow or Jackie Sparrow in my case and let her rip, right? Who cares if people think I'm weird? Because everyone's got an opinion, and I don't know. As long as I'm having fun, it's good stuff. But yeah, yay, working on packing pirate gear, etc., etc. I have the Gasparilla live stream tomorrow night. It's Tuesday, the 17th, with my race director, Susan Harmeling. And this is her last year being race director. She's been with this race organization for, I think, almost 30 years, and she's retiring, which makes me sad because I love her so much, but also excited for her to just relax and do whatever the freak she wants to do. She has earned that right. So, okay, I'm gonna leave the storytelling behind for now, and then I'm gonna answer your questions because you've sent so many good ones. And often I'm posting a ask your question here in my Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge page. If you're not on that, you can certainly join. It's a group on Facebook, Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge, and I boss you around and encourage you to get fit. And most importantly, there's over 2,000 other wonderful humans who have similar goals to you, and they're constantly encouraging each other, and they stay accountable by posting selfies, workout stats, all the stuff every day. And everybody's so encouraging. I mean, really, unkindness is not acceptable. And man, I think it's been 7 years since someone has said something rude on the page. So please feel free to join. It's free. It's just another place for you to get a little more fitness in your life and to make some friends. And this week at Gasparilla, I have so many of my hotties coming. I've got Tim Patton and Sean Matlock, and Beth is coming, and Lori and Peter and Jason. Oh my, and so many others. So the barn racing team from Wisconsin, which I can't wait to get my hands on them. Folks, they have the coolest race kits on earth. They're pink and orange and gray. They're so stylish. I wish I had some barn gear, but I don't. But whatever. That's fine. But anyways, it's going to be a wonderful weekend, and I can't wait to see everybody. If you're listening now and we have never met, please don't be shy. Please introduce yourself. This is what I live for. I show up at the races. I'm specifically hired to not only provide structure and information, but to take care of you. That's what my race directors want me to make all the athletes feel happy, celebrated, and loved. And I can do that tenfold if I know who you are. So Do not be shy. Okay, I'm going to jump right into your questions and then we're going to talk some more at the end. So, first question from Jason Rue. Hi, Jason. I love it when you send in questions, please, and thank you. Jason says, and this is a funny problem to have. I tend to be on the slower side naturally, but Jason says, what's the secret to not going out too fast during a 5K, 10K half, or a marathon? I am terrible at pacing. So, it's a great question, and all the pros will tell you start slow, finish fast. Whatever race you're running, start slow, finish fast. So ingrain that in your head. And I know this because I've had our finest runners in the world here on my podcast tell me the same thing. So Catherine Switzer, the first woman to register and run the Boston Marathon, Dina Castor, Joni Benoit Samuelson, she's told me that in person. Meb Keflezighi has said that. So start slow, finish fast. That means you have a long way to go, whether 3 miles or 26 miles. The end is going to be harder than the beginning. So take a deep breath, have a plan. It takes some sophistication to have a plan. If you've never done a 5K or a race at all, then managing your pace, what the heck is that, right? But if you are sophisticated, as you seem to be already, Jason, even though I know you're probably like, I'm not a big deal runner. You don't have to be a big deal runner to have some rhyme or reason to your athletic adventure, right? You're training and preparing. And so this is smart. How do I start slower than fast? If you're me, I don't wear a watch. I don't do that. And so I would just run at a comfortable pace. I do everything in fitness on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 right now, sitting on my butt. That's 1. 5 would be walking vigorously. 6 or 7 would be running slowly. And then 8, 9 is running at a quicker pace, So perhaps you choose to start at a level 6. You start taking deeper breaths, but you're not hyperventilating. You can control your breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Your heart rate hasn't spiked through the roof. That's how to control your pace if you're not using a watch that tells you exactly how fast you're going, right? And I think you know the difference between your legs moving quickly and your legs moving at a slower pace. You're turning over less often. Maybe your knees aren't as high. Maybe you don't feel like you're pushing off as hard. So gauging your own body the way you feel, that's a really smart way to start slow. And then if you're a tech guy, and I believe you are, and most of my listeners probably are, you get a watch and it'll tell you are running at a 10-minute per mile pace or a 12-minute per mile pace. And so you just yield to the watch. I think some of these watches you can set to beep if you're going too fast or beep if your heart rate is too high. And so you can control those factors through technology. I like to just control my body because I like to control my body. And I don't use technology much, maybe a little here or there. I do find it fascinating sometimes. But if you are a watch wearer, then program it. And I think you can say, I don't want to go further than a 10-minute mile or faster than a 10-minute mile on mile 1, and then mile 2, a 9.5-minute mile, and mile 3, a 9-minute. You know what I'm saying? So just use technology or use your brain, but it is smart. Start slow. And then this is what I love. I always find it fascinating at a finish line when someone's at the end of a half or a full marathon specifically, and I see them charging in from 100 yards away and they are sprinting like they are in PE class in high school and the coach just yelled go and they're just taking off. Wow, to be able to have that much energy at the end of the race, that shows me that you ran a very smart race, or maybe you were just, chilling with a friend, laying back. But that's big time to have enough gusto, enough gumption to sprint hard. You know who does that really well is Katie Stefaniak. She's one of my hotties and Michigan runner. And Katie always sprints to the finish. Now, this is where it's bad. This is the bad thing on the sprint to the finish. I can rarely catch you and escort you through the finish line. So if you want to hold my hand and do the hands up thing together, then you shouldn't be sprinting. I don't know if I've ever caught Katie. I think perhaps I have gotten behind Katie with a number 1 finger or something like that. But, you do you, Jason. But that's a great question. Use your mind or use technology and you can control your pace. Okay. Next question. Also there, screenshotted on my phone. So we go. Yassine Ganai says, well, winter up here in New York is naturally cold and snowing. What's the coldest it's been in Florida that you can remember? Never heard that Florida getting as low as 30 degrees in the wintertime. So that's a great question. And it's very cute and sweet. I know in Buffalo, you guys are drowning in snow. And I also don't understand what that life is like. I can't fathom. I just can't fathom. I can't fathom driving in the snow. Like all of that just makes me curious. Anyways, Florida definitely does get in the 30s. We get in the 30s every year. We spend a handful of days in the 20s. I'm in the northern half of the state. So when I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, it was very rare to see 30. But in the northern half, we see 30 a lot. Last year was a really mild winter. We didn't have much. This year, we're getting a lot of cold, and I disapprove. In fact, a couple weekends ago, the Donna Marathon weekend, the last weekend of January, snow flurries here in Gainesville, snow flurries in Jacksonville too. And it has gotten as low as 10 degrees around here. 10 degrees. It's been very cold. In fact, I remember my children having school canceled because the weather was in the teens. And I thought, gosh, we are so wimpy because there wasn't even snow. There wasn't ice. It was just cold and they canceled school. So I know you Northerners would feel like we are pretty damn wimpy, and we are, but we definitely get cold temps. It varies year to year like it does up there. But I'm also really proud that we don't have to deal with that crazy old snow. It's funny. I can't fathom living in the brutal cold that many of you just endure for months on end. I know so many of you couldn't possibly fathom living in Florida heat in July and August. Many think it's oppressive. I find it revitalizing. I love heat. Oh my gosh. Tank tops and flip-flops all day, every day. Give it to me, but that's not the reality. But yeah, cold for you, hot for me. And we will be right back. My brand new book, You Supercharge, the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity, is out right now and has something for everybody. Ladies, chapter Full Throttle Femininity is dedicated to all the things you think you can't control, including menopause, weight loss, maintaining muscle mass, building bone density, and earning yourself a JJ of steel. Guys, chapter Man Mode was written just for you. You'll learn how to combat menopause, tune up your ticker, banish a beer belly for good, maximize your muscles, and earn the most powerful pecker on the planet. From the ground on up, from the inside and out, let's supercharge your body and mind and make you unstoppable. Order signed copies of You Supercharged at fitzness.com in the United States, Amazon, everywhere else. We're back. Another question from Jason Rue. He said, I'm so glad tonight is question night because it's 10,000 steps all at once, the same as 10,000 steps split up over the day. Example, 1,000 steps every hour. So the answer to that is yes and no. So 10,000 steps, if you're moving at the same pace, let's say you're doing 4 miles per hour with every step you take, then sure, there's covering 10,000 steps is 10,000 steps full of activity. However, there's a certain benefit your body experiences from doing it all at once. Now, 10,000 steps would equal approximately 5 miles for the average grown-up. So Jason's very tall. I'm a lot shorter. So I have to take more steps per mile. But they say on average, humans take about 2,000 steps per mile. So 10,000 steps equals 5 miles. There's a certain amount of fatigue that will set in if you just keep going, right? So you might be able to do 1,000 comfortably. You go sit down, watch TV, get some work done, whatever, and then you go out and do another 1,000 steps. Your body has had a chance to rest and recover and perhaps feels fresh for the next 1,000 miles. That's lovely. But when you're challenging your body, when you're putting all the steps back to back to back, there's a certain amount of muscle fatigue that you're having to press through. There's a certain amount of mental fatigue that you're having to push through. And of course, if you keep going and your heart and lungs are being challenged the whole way, that's a superior way to challenge and improve your cardiorespiratory system. So it's not the same, mind you. I love 10,000 steps no matter how you break it up, right? If you're going to do 10,000 in a row, wonderful. If you're going to do 10,000, period, wonderful. So perhaps on the days where you have time, I'm going to do 10,000 steps. I'm going to go walk 5 miles. That's my goal. If you're fit enough to do that, on occasion you should, but definitely be proud of 10,000 steps full of activity. I don't know who made that goal for society many years ago, but it's a great goal. Why not? And if you're doing that, then you are certainly not just being sedentary. I think that's a nice stretch. Some people only do 1 mile worth of walking every day, and that's really not a lot of activity. I think some people think, ooh, I did a mile. It's not as much as you think it is. You could get in a mile walking into the grocery store and around the grocery store and back to your car. So do better. Great question. Thank you. All right. Next up, this is a good one. David Gear. Hi, Dave. He asks, what ingredients should be considered when looking for ultimate UV skin protection? Okay, so here's the deal. I'm not a dermatologist. That is out of my range. But there are two ingredients that came to mind when your question popped up. And so I compared my thoughts to the Google machine. That's right. I went straight to the Google machine, David. And this is what I found. That number one, zinc oxide. Zinc is the gold standard, right? So broad spectrum protection, UVA and UVB. That's number one. If you can get zinc on all over your body when you're out in the sun, good on you. You're likely to be well protected. Next up, titanium dioxide. That's another very popular ingredient, highly effective. Says it blocks UVB rays and shortwave UVAs, ideal for sensitive skin, often paired with zinc for a complete filter. So look for those two, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. There's another few ingredients that I found, again, on the interweb, the Google machine, avobenzone, octinoxate, say that 3 times fast, and oxybenzone. So, I don't really know what those last 3 ingredients are. Remember, I'm not a dermatologist, but being a Floridian, we're really good at sunscreen. So zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, those are the number 1 and 2 that I thought you should look for. And the Google machine said, yes, Fitz Koehler, you are a smarty pants. So look at those. And also, I hope everybody puts on sunscreen almost every day. If there's a glimmer of sun in the sky, or even if it's overcast, it just doesn't hurt you. If you get a nice sunscreen, I like La Roche-Posay. It's a company, it's a French company. They used to be sold in fancy schmancy department stores. Then they became a more affordable brand, but maintain the quality. I love their products. And after I cleanse my face and put on my serums and my moisturizer, or before my moisturizer, I put on my sunscreen, and they're lightweight and you don't feel it. And gosh, I almost wish that it smelled tropical, like the coconut oil stuff we like to wear to the beach, but it doesn't smell at all. It's just wonderful. And they have a tinted sunscreen, which I wear whenever I'm announcing races, which is awesome. But definitely just put on sunscreen, even if you go snow skiing. You're on a mountain, you're probably closer to the sun. A lot of people get crazy sunburns while out skiing. So just protect your skin. It's your largest organ. It's the most common form of cancer. And even if it doesn't kill you, man, it could cause a lot of wrinkles, a lot of aging, brown spots. You can have a lot of things cut off, frozen off. It's just a big pain in the ass. I wish my mother knew better. Now, mind you, I'm not cursing her because she didn't know better, but I baked in the sun as a kid, and she would buy me little swimming pools so I could lie out in the pool and have the sun burn me to a crisp. And she would buy me baby oil to put all over myself. Lord, I wish I didn't do that. And I don't blame her because she didn't know any better. But we did some stupid stuff. Dave, I'm sure you did some stupid stuff too. In fact, I'm pretty sure almost all of my listeners have done some pretty stupid stuff. And lack of sunscreen probably is a valid stupid thing. Most of us did. So wear sunscreen now. It's very affordable. You can get it at the pharmacy. You can get a generic brand. Again, I like La Roche-Posay, but there's other wonderful options, and you should use it. Okay. All right, Yassine again. We're having some repeat question askers, which I appreciate. So Yassine, I'm going to sum up his question because it's very long. He says that when it's above 32 degrees, he runs faster than when it's below. And is there a good reason for that? So there might be a couple of reasons. The ones that scream to me as a fitness pro, I think that when it's even colder, you have to spend a lot of energy to keep warm, to keep your internal organs warm. You're shivering and so forth. So one would think, gosh, I'm going to move really, really fast because it's super cold. But the energy it takes to keep your body warm is certainly taxing. And that might be while you're running slower. The other thing that screams to me is that cold weather, that cold, dry air is murder on our throats and our lungs. And you know that where you get that burning sensation in the back of your throat, you keep swallowing and it just freaking hurts. That would certainly put a damper on your pace. And so yeah, the temperature is real brutal when you get down that low. I can't even imagine going for a 10-mile run in 20 degrees. It just, woo-wee, that's what treadmills are for. Golly, do I love the treadmills. For everyone who's saying, blah, blah, I hate the treadmill. Treadmill. I don't understand you. I don't understand you. I think we're friends. I think we connect on a lot of things. But when you start trash talking my treadmill, all I think is I can use it when it's 20 degrees outside, and I don't have to go out when it's 20, and I don't have to go run when it's 100 degrees outside. I can be inside in the air condition. I can watch TV, and I can have my water bottle right there. I can use it when it's dark and scary outside, and maybe there's a bad guy running around waiting to get me. I mean, oh, such a magical invention, the treadmill. So you seen, I think that's probably why you run a little slower. I think your body's just generically working harder to stay alive, and then your throat and lungs are being burned by the cold. Ouch. Okay. Sean Matlock. Oh, it's a good question. And boy, do I have a great answer. So Sean says, what's the deal with peptides? Hearing about them, but not sure what they are for and if there's something I should be taking. So there are, the most common type of peptides right now are the kinds that are associated with the GLP-1s, the weight loss, Wegovy, Ozempic type peptides, but there are peptides for other things. Now, I'm going to tell you more about this at the end of the show, but I was recently I'll just tell you right now, I'm doing a media tour for my book, You Supercharged. And I've been on radio shows in Cleveland, and I've been on ESPN here in Florida, and I have and I've got New Jersey and New York and Connecticut in the books. And I recently went out to Los Angeles, West Hollywood, to be on the Extend podcast. Extend podcast is owned by Dr. Darshan Shah, who owns these Next Health Longevity Centers. So if you saw my Instagram posts about the oxygen chamber and the cryotherapy, I was at Dr. Shah's Next Health facilities. And the reason I was there is he invited me on his podcast. He's got a really big deal podcast, ton of listeners. I think he's in the top 1% of all podcasts. Fitzness Show is in the top 3% of all podcasts, but his is bigger than mine. So he invited me there. So I flew out to Los Angeles, and the first thing we did after I did those services, we went in his studio, and we had his logo on the big screen in the back, and he interviewed me for a good hour. And I think it was great conversations. I love connecting with physicians, medical professionals who are interested in learning more about fitness. And of course, I don't need any verification of the things I say because I know myself, but it's always great when a doctor looks at you and says, you're spot on, right? But anyway, Darshan Shah, he's wonderful and smart and handsome and charismatic. And you may have seen him on the Super Bowl. I was watching the old Super Bowl, and all of a sudden Dr. Shah pops up for Liquid Death, the water cans, and cool spokesperson he is. But anyways, so I was a guest on his show. And then what we did is we changed our outfits. They put my logo on the big screen behind us, and I interviewed Dr. Shah. And so we talked about peptides, and he gave a fantastic response. So Sean, I want you to know I've heard your question. I've seen your question. I'm acknowledging your question. I have an answer for you, but I want Dr. Shah to give it to you. So I'm actually waiting for his media folks to send me the footage of our interview so I can publish that episode of the Fitzness Show soon. But no, it's a great question, and the response is coming soon. So thank you for asking. I hope everyone sticks around to hear that response. It was really, really good. Okay. Okay, a few more questions. Tammy L says, what do I do when I'm just too tired and stressed to exercise? Do it anyways. Okay, so there's a couple of answers there. Sometimes we're really tired, really stressed, and if not exercising is unusual for you, meaning you hit it hard most days of the week, you've got a vigorous workout plan and you're go, 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 sometimes it's a great idea to listen to your body. You're tired, you're stressed. Okay, take the day off. I'm gonna give you permission to do that. If you're truly tired and stressed, and you normally work hard, you're not an excuse maker, take the day off. What I'd love to see you do instead of that vigorous workout is to do something else wonderful for your health. So maybe it's just you're going to get in the shower and commit to stretching for 20 minutes. right? So that's not going to be an activity that exhausts you even more and stresses you out even more. It's going to heal your body and your mind while being productive for both things, right? So stretching in the shower, you could also just stretch on the floor, right? Maybe you're going to take that opportunity to get a massage or go to a hot tub, right? So perhaps you exchange your workout time for some other kinder, gentler activity that still serves your body and mind, right? So don't just do nothing unless you really just want to do nothing. Maybe just do something else that's a less vigorous pace that will make you feel revitalized. Perhaps cryotherapy. Mind you, that was crazy, crazy cold. Holy mackerel. But what it was invigorating. That's right. If I walked into that cryotherapy booth and I was feeling tired or stressed, I would have washed it all away because, woo, adrenaline. And here's the other thing. Most times you go into cold weather situations and you're all bundled up. And so you've fought back a little bit with the cryotherapy. My gosh, I think I was in undies and a sports bra and one of those little towels that wraps around you and Velcros. It was freezing. Lord have mercy. If you are tired, go do cryotherapy or get in one of those crazy cold pools, cold plunge. That'll wake you up. That's right. That'll wake you up. Okay. Thanks, Tammy. Great question. Wyatt K says, I feel intimidated at the gym. How can I build confidence to just go for it? Well, you got to walk in the door. You got to always know, put your little Fitzy on your shoulder. Know this. Every single person in a gym is an awesome person, right? They are to be expected because they showed up. You know who's not to be respected? The people that are sitting home, making excuses, not exercising at all, eating garbage. Those people have a lot to be embarrassed of. You, on the other hand, the second you show up at the gym, you're doing something admirable. Doesn't mean you got to be a gym pro. And mind you, out of all the people in the gym, what are the odds everybody's a pro? Very, very little. I assure you, there's probably 85% of the people walking through a gym each day think, I wonder how that machine works. Oh, I hope I don't look ridiculous if I try this and it goes wrong. So, start off knowing that you belong. You're one of the people. Gyms are built for you. You have a body. So you belong in the gym. And there's a couple of ways that you can go about getting comfortable. A, you can make an appointment. So there are personal trainers you have to pay extra for. And I can't speak for all gyms, but I think most gyms, once they sell you a membership, they have some sort of commitment to getting you acquainted, right? Teaching you how things work, even if it's just a one-time session where they're going to walk you through 10 different machines or show you the nuts and bolts. Most machines have a little picture with directions on the machine. So if you can read, you can probably figure it out. But yeah, ask for help. I'm brand new here. I'm uncomfortable. Can someone on your staff just show me around? I don't need a personal trainer. I just need someone to give me the lowdown on how I go about exercising here. And there should definitely, without a doubt, be someone that can help you with that. The other thing you could do is start off doing the thing you do know how to do. So stationary bike, abs on a mat, treadmill. If you know how to walk, you know how to turn it on. Obviously, treadmill has a little nuances because you don't want to fall down. But if you don't go crazy on the treadmill, if you just set it to, let's say, 3 miles per hour so you can walk at a comfortable pace, that's a great start. So start doing things you know how to do. Go in there, if you know how to do one thing, just do that one thing and go home. If you know how to do 7 things, do the 7 things you know how to do and go home. And then eventually, as you start feeling a little less anxious about being in that place called the gym, you can start looking around for new things to try. Maybe watch the other members get to work, see how they're using the machines. You could probably even ask a fellow gym person, maybe find one that doesn't look like a big meathead. Now, mind you, some of the big meatheads are some of the sweetest humans and most helpful around, but maybe you find someone that looks unintimidating and say, hey, I've never used that machine before. Do you mind showing me how? And they probably will. And then the other thing you can do is you can take a class because you walk into the room and there's an instructor whose whole job is to teach you and guide you and encourage you through a routine. So everybody shows up not knowing what they're going to get. And then the instructor says, put your right foot here, put your left hand there, do the hokey pokey and turn yourself about. So Yeah, the gym, please don't feel uncomfortable there. I it breaks my heart to think anybody would avoid the quest of living better and living longer because they're nervous about not knowing how, right? And you have me, for crying out loud. I have an entire YouTube channel. Look at the free workout video playlist. There's, I think, 100 of them where I'm teaching how to exercise. You could take my videos on your phone over to the dumbbell section or the resistance band section or wherever and just follow along with me at the gym. And so please go and then let me know how it was, golly.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback series by Fitz Koehler offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit fitzness.com today. That's FITZNESS.com. Fitzness.com.
Sam says, is it possible to get a full body workout in under 30 minutes? Would it be pointless to do a session so quickly? Oh my gosh, no. Sam, if I were your personal trainer, I could throttle you in 10 minutes. That's right. I could break you down, have you crying for mercy, begging for your mommy. 10 minutes flat. I don't hold any ego about that, but you could have a killer workout in a very short amount of time. Let's say 1 solid minute of push-ups, 1 solid minute of squat jumps, 1 solid minute of angry ups, 1 solid minute of burpees. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, you guys are probably cringing right now. I'm seeing you driving your car, just shuddering, saying, Fitz, no, I don't want to do a minute of angry ups. So yeah, you could get a killer workout in 30 minutes. Golly, that's more than enough time. Now, certainly there's an opportunity for you to take a much longer workout and do more things. Fine. That probably encourages or includes more rest breaks. Fine. But know that 30 minutes, you could get a colossal workout with an incredible impact. And I do it all the time. I go in there and I bang it out. And those are probably some of my hardest workouts, the ones that I jam into a short session. So yeah, 30 minutes, got it. And then Hannah, I lose interest in my workouts after a few weeks, but I feel like I'm running out of things to keep them fresh. What are things I should be doing to make them more exciting again? Start with a goal. The workouts have to have a purpose. You're not just going, I'm going to go do ab class. I'm going to do the ab class. Why are you doing the ab class? Are you doing an ab class because you want to have ripped six pack for summer or spring break or hot tub in the winter? Whatever. What's your reason for doing an ab class? Why would you be doing Zumba? Why? You like dancing? You want to burn a lot of calories? Okay, have a purpose. If you are running, golly, running can be super boring. Gosh, I'm in the running community. I love running. I love runners, all the things. But left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. For the love of God, it could be really dull unless you have a purpose. And your purpose could be your heart, your lungs, or your endurance, or it could be a big race coming up. Maybe that's the carrot you're dangling, right? You're going to run Fargo Marathon or Fargo Half Marathon. That's why you get up and keep going, even when you're bored, even when you're tired. It's because you have an end goal. And so know what your goals are. Have a game plan. Have a final destination, right? If you are working to build your glutes, well, every single day in the bathroom, dude, turn around, look at your butt. Look at your butt. See if it's getting more plumper, if it's getting stronger. Take your hands, put them on your cheeks and flex. Do they feel stronger? Do they feel harder? Do they feel more pronounced? Good on you. That'll keep you going back to do some more, right? So you have to have a purpose. And then those workouts, even if they start to feel dull for the moment, the end goal will remain even more exciting. And then the other thing is there's so many workouts you could do. If you truly are bored, then you're just not looking far enough. You could go do a pole dancing class. You could play rugby. You could ride a horse. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do to have a fitter body that aren't just the basics at a gym. So have a purpose, be creative, and stay disciplined because motivation wanes. No, motivation gets you to the start line. Discipline gets you to the finish line. Keep going no matter what because excuses suck. Have I ever told you that excuses are lame? Have I mentioned that to you? I think you've heard it maybe once or twice, but bleh. Anytime I hear an excuse, it makes me cringe. It just gives a bad taste in my mouth. Even when they're semi-legit, I can't remember the last time I heard a legit excuse for no exercise. I I can't even remember. And mind you, I get the excuses all the time. Can you imagine what it's like to be Fitz Koehler? I go to the grocery store and even the checkout guy says, "Oh, I know who you are. I used to work out, but," and the second they say "but," my eyes roll through the back of my head and I think, "Please stop." Not because they bore me, because I want to jump across the little conveyor belt with my food and grab them and shake them and poke them in the chest and say, "Hush, you can do better. You can be better. Stop with this stupid nonsense you're dishing out. You're spewing at me from your cash register. Love you more than I do because I care enough about you to shake you in the grocery store." That's right. What if I did that one day? What if I were banned from the grocery store? Okay, do you want to hear a bad story or a stupid story? I'm going to say it's a stupid story. So I'm at the end of chemo. And I say that because I looked a little weird, right? I probably looked a little lightweight. I probably looked a little scrawny, less menacing than I normally do in my regular fitsy healthy body. But there was this woman, and mind you, she was in a shower cap in the grocery store. So whoever she is with her shower cap, pay attention, lady. But she had a little dog with her in the grocery store, and you're not allowed to have a dog in there, but whatever. It was a freaking adorable dog. It was so cute. And I walked by, and so anyone who has a little bit of intellect knows that I was being sarcastic, but I look and I go, "Well, that dog isn't cute at all like that." And she did not get it. She did not get the sarcasm that, of course, her dog was the cutest dog on earth at the moment. I said, "Your dog is not cute at all." And she goes, "What? Why would you say that?" And I looked and I said, "I was just joking." "Don't say that to me. You think my dog is not cute?" I said, "No, obviously I meant your dog was extremely cute." But there I am with my little spiked hairdo and I'm skinny as a rail. And she's like, wanted to fight me in the grocery store. And so I put my stuff down and I'm pretty much, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I told her, I said something to the effect of, "If I need to beat your ass here in the grocery store, I'm happy to, but I'd rather not." And so her friend grabbed her and dragged her off. But yeah, she had gotten in my face and she was shouting. And then I threatened to beat her ass while on chemo because that would have been better. And it would have been caught on video in Publix. And you all would have evidence that I beat the living tar out of this very hostile woman in the grocery store. And they probably would not have arrested me because they would have been embarrassed to arrest the little cancer girl getting in a fight in Publix. But isn't that the craziest? Why? Why are people so wacky? I was clearly saying her dog was adorable. It was so cute. Why would I say anything other than that? But she was a hostile person. And then one of my besties, Brian Severe, was there. Brian, if you're listening, I love you. Brian's battling cancer right now, and I wish he weren't because I love him so much. I met Brian in 6th grade in our gifted program, he and his twin brother, Kevin. And I love them. They're so fun, so smart, very sarcastic. If I called their dog uncute, they certainly would have understood that I was suggesting their dog was very cute. But anyway, Brian, I gave dog treats in lunch. That's right. I brought my dog Kelly's dog chocolates. And I said, "Brian, do you want some chocolate?" And he said, "Yeah." And he ate it. And I giggled. It was rude. But anyways, he still loves me. Thank goodness. Anywho, that is it for today. Okay. Our song of the show is Hello by Martin Solveig and Dragonette. It's a fun one. I encourage you to get on an elliptical rider. And when you elliptical ride, I want you to shake your hips side to side really hard while you're listening to Hello. It's a very fun pop song. I'm sure you've heard it before. And when you hear it on my Spotify playlist, that's right, just go straight to Spotify, search Fitzness, and you'll see my playlist. And this song is on it. And you can listen to that for free, of course. But yeah, Hello, that's a fun one to add. And then this is my communication tip of the show. Listen up. You should not be texting while you are spending time with someone. You should not be texting while you are having a conversation with someone. If you get on the phone and you're constantly saying, hold on, and then you're texting with someone else, just hang up with the person you're talking to. It's so rude making them wait. The only time that is okay, is if it's actually a time-sensitive manner. Your kid is on the other line saying, "Hey, Dad, are you picking me up soon?" And you can say, "Excuse me, I have to respond to my son." But if you're just chit-chatting about BS, don't do that. Don't do the other person you're talking to, whether they're live in person or they're on the phone. You should not be texting while you're having a conversation with someone you care about. And if you just don't care about the other person on the other end of the line or the person in front of you, then text away. And they will know for sure in an instant that you don't care about them. So that's my communication tip is stop. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for all the wonderful questions. If you were coming to Gasparilla this week, please find me for a Hugsy and make sure your friends know that they should introduce themselves to me too, because I would love to be able to personalize their shout outs at the start and finish line. I love you all. Get to work. Bye, team. Mwah.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's Marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to give the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children a chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz Koehler, Morning Milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.